I grew this online shop from zero to over $300,000 in my first year in business, starting with only $500 to my name. And the cool part is that before that, I had absolutely no experience whatsoever. I'm going to take you back to the time when I was 19 and had about $500 to my name, and I'm going to show you everything that I did, all of the side hustles that I tried out to make over $300,000 in just 1 year, and how that set me up to make millions of dollars the few years after that. This is going to be a really unique video like I've never made before, because I really want to take you through the journey of when I dropped out of going to college and working at Noodles & Company to finding success with my dream business. I'm not telling you this story to flex on you. I just really hope it motivates you to get started and take action towards your own goals. And I'm telling you that because I grew up really poor with a single mother, and we really didn't have any advantages in life. So I want to share with you the lessons that taught me that anything was possible no matter where I was starting out from. And by the way, I was 19 years old, working as a manager of a Noodles & Company restaurant here in Colorado. And for perspective on this, I got the job as soon as I turned 16, and I worked my way all the way up from being the busboy dishwasher. So I had already been there a few years. My goal was to open up a gym because I love working out, and I also knew that I needed to own a business if I was going to be as financially successful as I wanted to be. I was and still am a super money-driven person. I really didn't have some great moral reason for wanting to start a business besides the fact that I just wanted to be stupid rich. I wanted to be able to order the guac at Chipotle without thinking about it. I wanted to be able to retire my mom and not worry about how much it was going to cost. Honestly, even though I did hate my restaurant job, I don't think I would have cared if I was washing dishes at Noodles or running a gym or drop shipping. I just wanted to make a stupid amount of money. As long as I made a ton of money, I was good. Growing up really poor, like single mother on food stamps poor, I felt like there was no other option but to make a lot of money and nothing else would cut it. So I decided to take 1 year off from the time that I graduated high school to work and save up a little bit of money so that I could basically pay for college, because I thought that that's how you got rich. And for some reason, probably most people think this way, but I thought that I needed a college degree to make that happen. At this point, I've been cooking pasta and working my way up at Noodles for about 4 years, so I had a few $1,000s saved up, but really nothing crazy. I don't think it even would have covered one semester at college. Maybe it was like $3,000. Don't worry, it's not clickbait. I lost all of this money anyway. Either way, it was time for me to move on, so I put my notice in and headed off to college. A couple weeks later, I arrived at orientation, and that day is when my entire plan started to fall apart. Not only did I find out that the price was going to be nearly double what I was originally estimated, but the amount of propaganda and just overall brainwashing that was going on during orientation before we even started classes was absolutely insane. I think deep down I was hoping that the type of people I was about to go to college with were more of the entrepreneur type like I am, but they're instead a completely different type of person. Whatever it was really just God telling me not to go. This was a super difficult decision for me because everyone goes to college and it's really looked at as the best thing to do most of the time. And growing up so poor, it basically looked like the best option available. And I didn't really see any other options open to me at the time. And I had already quit my job so that I could go. Driving back home, I basically decided to drop out before I was supposed to start, and that made these next few weeks absolutely crazy. I immediately felt super lost and depressed because my 4-year plus plan had just fallen apart, and I was wondering if I had made the right decision. This was easily one of my lowest moments because I felt like I didn't know what to do, and I was 19. I was a full adult with no idea what I was going to do and how I was going to make money and achieve the goals that I had. I only had a few $1,000s to my name, so I was either going to go back to a job that I hated and try to make money even though I knew that that wasn't going to get me rich, or I would have to figure something out. I sort of decided that I was done feeling sorry for myself and that I needed to take life into my own hands, and that instead of going straight to opening up a gym, I would find another business that was maybe a little bit better to get into without having a ton of money to fund it. Enter dropshipping. Around August of 2019, I found out about this great opportunity to get rich quick overnight online, and I was sold. Take my money, sign me up, baby. Once I started watching these dropshipping challenge videos, I couldn't stop. I mean, a business that you can start right from your laptop with hardly any money up front, and you can make thousands of dollars a day, what could possibly go wrong? I got a Shopify store set up, loaded it with some products, signed up for Facebook ads, and started running paid ads using patched together product images from AliExpress. It completely failed. Now, I tried selling all kinds of different products, from ice scrapers, shoe covers, double-sided sticky tape, backpacks, and honestly nothing was working. And I was spending around $80 a day trying to run my ads, which in hindsight, they were terrible ads. After a solid 2 months of dropshipping fails, I thought the business was a scam, that these guys online were only making money off of YouTube and selling a course, and that they weren't actually making any money from dropshipping because it's broken. I lost about $1,000 of my savings and only had around $2,000 left, so I needed to start making some money back, and I basically decided to give up and go with a different business. So towards the end of October, still in 2019, after binging some more Graham Stephan videos, I decided I'd get my real estate license. This was going to cost me pretty much the rest of my savings since I had spent so much dropshipping, but I signed up for the earliest class at the end of the year anyway. I really did need some money coming in at this point, so I took a quick job at Starbucks to make a few bucks before going into real estate. Now, while I was becoming a certified barista at Starbucks, I figured I'd try out just one more dropshipping store just for fun. This shop was gonna sell these clear milk box style water bottles. I set up a shop real quick and loaded the product in, and I ran some Instagram ads this time, which I hadn't done before. Now, I remember this so vividly because that week during training, while I was sitting in the back of Starbucks watching the video on how to make an Americano, I got my first ever sale. My phone was sitting right in front of me on the desk, and it just went off, the cha-ching sound, and that was like no other moment in my life. It was the first time I made any money online, and even though it was still at a severe loss after all my ad costs and Shopify expenses, I realized that I could, in fact, sell products online. This shop did end up getting a few more sales, but I eventually had to shut it down because it wasn't profitable after ad costs and all the other expenses. So again, I had to put dropshipping on hold. I went to real estate school and got my license and started grinding out real estate at the beginning of 2020. I was holding open houses, door knocking, cold calling, doing all of the brand new real estate agent things. And then COVID. Once the PAMI really started, I was locked inside and I was unable to do a lot of the activities that most real estate agents do in order to make money. Not to mention that I low-key hated being in real estate. I mean, doing cold calls at 19, trying to call someone and sell their house, it's pretty difficult to do. So basically, in short, I failed miserably. This was by far my actual lowest moment. I was depressed, I was completely almost out of money, I was locked inside, and all of my ideas had been turning into failures. I had put nearly the rest of my money into making real estate work because it's not a cheap business to be in, and I was losing about $300 a month just being in real estate. Looking back, these first few months of 2020 were the most pivotal in my entire career. I had to make the decision if I was going to cut my losses and go back to working a job that I hated and knew that it wasn't ever going to make me rich, or if I was going to lock in and give business one last go with my final $500. This is when I found the business model that changed my life. Since I was so low on money at this point, I needed something to work, and so I decided to take one last shot at online business. I knew that I couldn't afford to run any more Shopify stores and, more importantly, pay for the ads. So I decided to do something a little bit different than what the mainstream advice was, and I tried to sell on marketplaces, specifically Etsy. Now, Etsy dropshipping encompasses selling digital products and print-on-demand products. You probably already know what digital products are, but print-on-demand is just basically a blank white label product with some kind of unique design uploaded and printed on it. If you've ever seen someone rocking a t-shirt with a funny saying, or you've gotten a silly mug for Christmas, this could very well be a print-on-demand product. This is key because most of the time you can't sell the traditional AliExpress garbage on Etsy. So I opened up my first free Etsy shop and started posting some products for sale, since each product listing was only 20 cents each. Then something weird happened because those first few products that I posted started getting some organic views. I figured that if I could get just some of the shoppers who were already coming to buy products on Etsy to look at my products instead, I could save money where I was losing it in other areas before. Within my first week, after listing several products, I made my first ever profitable sale. It was for $5.21, and even after all of the listing fees, I was profitable for the first time with a business. Just like when I was sitting in the back of Starbucks and made my first ever sale, this moment was one that I'll never forget because it was such an unlock for me. It showed me that even though I had made such a little amount of money, I could make a profit online. That fact was all I needed. So at that moment, I locked in because I had only posted a few products and made a sale. So what would happen if I posted a lot more? I decided that I would post as many products as it took to finally make it. As soon as I started posting more and more products, boom, second sale, and I was still in profit. The more products I posted, the more sales started coming in. Every time I'd post more products for sale, I'd also get better at making and posting them, and I'd make more and more money. After I had maybe 40 products listed for sale, I realized that I could sell print-on-demand face masks with memes on them. This was obviously very relevant at the time. This was one of the first products that really took off for me, and I was making hundreds of dollars a week just by posting face masks with memes. That trend made me a few $1,000s, but I realized that I needed something more sustainable that would work once face masks stopped selling. So over the next 6 months, I decided I would post 20 products each day for sale. I didn't know how exactly I was going to be able to do it, but I knew that I had to do it if I wanted to reach my goal. I also saw a bunch of other huge shops that had thousands of listings posted in their shop, so I wanted to replicate their success and do what they were doing. I also kind of had to do this because I wasn't making enough money to live on yet, so I had to keep working or I'd be back at noodles. For about 6 months straight, I just sat down and posted products for sale. A lot of them would never sell, but then all of a sudden, one of them would take off. And then once one took off, a bunch of others would start to sell as well. I started developing tools and systems that would help me make and post products even faster. That's why we have the Printify product uploader today, and I'm working on even more software tools that take all of the guesswork out of what to make and post for sale. After 6 months of making and posting products for sale every single day, I looked at my shop stats and I was making great money. I figured out what was going to work in my particular situation. I had an opportunity to grow a dropshipping business on Etsy, and I took it. After I had maybe 1,000 products posted for sale and spent a few months grinding away, I had made over $300,000 from a single shop as a 19 to 20-year-old. And then over the following years, that turned into millions of dollars. The cool part being that I didn't even need to spend my full $500, even though that's hardly nothing, growing the business, because I started making the money back as I posted more products for sale. It just took a ton of failure for me to figure out that one thing that would work, that if I kept posting products for sale on Etsy, getting them to rank in the algorithm, and got better over time, that I would eventually win. For me, the underlying principle is like, you find something that works and you do a lot of it. One of my problems early on was just switching around from different side hustles and ideas too often. I had to pick one and become the best at it. It's not that regular dropshipping or being a real estate agent doesn't work or that it's a scam. I just needed something that would work for me in my particular situation. And then I had to lock in and actually do it. And it definitely didn't happen overnight, but once I did decide that I would try and become the best Etsy dropshipper on the platform, it really wasn't that hard. Throughout this process, I ended up having to learn a ton of things about myself and about success in general. Like the fact that I can become successful as long as I put my mind to it and put in the work. And also that it's not only about finding a good opportunity, but it's about finding a good opportunity for you. Now, Etsy dropshipping is definitely not for everyone because it's hard, but it can make you really good money. So if you think that it might be for you, you can go check out this video now to kind of get a good overview and learn how it works. So I'll see you over there.